Manchester, or somewhere in the middle. Be sure to spend your leisure time by visiting the Wirral.
I'm standing in front of what is the remains of Birkenhead Market. I'm going to say that because we've just been inside and there's a few fresh food places still in there, but the place is more or less completely empty. And we were talking to one of the market traders, and he said that they wanted to be in the old Marks and Spencer's building. The council had said no. The council want to put them in the old Argos building. There's so many empty shops around here that that's the kind of place they're looking at. But of course the original plan, when they knocked down the department store, the other side of the precinct here, they were going to build a brand new market there. And of course that never happened either. And yet, right behind Ruth, there's two big brand new buildings the council have built to house themselves, because they're moving out of the Cheshire Lines building and others around Birkenhead. So Birkenhead is actually being destroyed at the moment, has been for the last couple of years. One thing after another gets knocked down, loads of roads are closed. They're spending a fortune putting in cycle tracks, which apparently nobody's that interested in, and they think it's a complete waste of the council's money. And then they've got this fantastic scheme, very romantic idea, to bring back, I think it's an old railway line, and make it into a leisure park for the people of Birkenhead, and to create a corridor from one part to another. We'll tell you more about that. I've collected together a load of pictures which explain all that, save me talking any longer. And for the music, well, I've asked an AI to sing me a song about Birkenhead, to write some lyrics, in other words. And the only thing I told them, and this is just a computer I'm talking to, was that Birkenhead is on the River Mersey, it's got a shipbuilders called Camel Laird's, and it's got an oil terminal at Tranmere. And given that information, it wrote me this song.
In Birkenhead, where the river flows by Camel Light, the big ships grow. A hard-working town with steady hands, building dreams on these old lands. At Tranmere Oil, with burning flames, refineries dance in twilight's frame. The Mersey whispers secrets old, stories in the night unfold. Oh, Birkenhead, you stand so tall, with ships and oil and tales for all. On a world's edge, through rain and shine, in our hearts you're always mine. Steel and oil, the lifeblood here, echoes of the past we hold dear. Mersey's waters calm and wide, Birkenhead will be our pride. Oh, Birkenhead, you stand so tall, with ships and oil and tales for all. On world's edge, through rain always mine. The workers' hands are rough and proud, their voices lift in unison loud. From dawn's first light to twilight's end, Birkenhead spirit we defend. Birkenhead spirit we defend.
Well, I really like that song. Wonderful what the AI can do. I misled it slightly because I should have told it that Tranmere had an oil terminal, and actually when I typed it in I put oil refinery. Tranmere oil terminal actually gathers the crude oil off the ships, and it's then sent down a 15-mile pipeline to the refinery further up the river, or down the river. The song itself was generated while I sat in the car on Asda's car park, because Suno, who I've been using to do some of my AI songs, they have now got an Android app, and so I explored that. Now, the Android app doesn't have any facilities to download from it, but I discovered that you can get a link to the song you create, and you can bring that up in a web page and download it from there. So that's what I did for the song about the spirit of Birkenhead.
Oh, Birkenhead, you stand so tall, with ships and oil and tales to roll, on Wirral's edge, through rain and shine. In our hearts you're always mine. In our hearts you're always mine.
There's a couple of other small things it didn't get right. It obviously doesn't know how to pronounce lairds in camel lairds, but that's the sort of word that could be different depending what part of the country you're in or what part of the world you're in. So it had no need or no reason to know how to say camel lairds. That's forgiven. Some other AI tricks I've been playing with. One of them, well, a couple of them are actually part of Power Director, my video editing package, and I should be able to demonstrate those now. The River Mersey behind me, which is calm, I couldn't believe it. When the song came and suggested that the river was a calm and quiet river, I thought, no, hasn't seen it on a windy day. It really crashes up and breaks waves on the promenade. But it's calm. So here we are, the proof is here. And if we want to blur it in the background, there's now a button in Power Director. You click it and the background blurs. The other thing you can do is get rid of the background altogether. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, because this is the scenery that I'm here to bring you, but if I wanted to change it for some other scenery, I suppose I could just click that button, get rid of what's behind me and put something else there. Not going to do that. I'm down by the River Mersey at Eastham and South Wirral. This is Eastham Country Park. The pub behind me is a biker's pub, and at the weekend it's packed with bikes. Not today, and there's an extremely pleasant tea gardens at the back where I've just had scone and butter and a cup of coconut hot chocolate. So it's somewhere you can come for simple refreshments. Or there's the Seacombe Ferry pub itself, which serves full meals, I understand. This is actually a place where we should be able to get the trains and boats and planes. The trains are a bit inland from here. The boats could well be going past on the River Mersey, but they only do that at high tide. Planes taking off from Liverpool Airport. Now, Liverpool Airport is just the other side of the river from here, and about 5 or 10 minutes ago, a couple of planes were taking off, and they're pretty low here. What are the chances there'll be one here now while I'm talking to you? Some other transport stuff. Every time I take a Merseyrail train, I travel on Merseyrail a lot because I don't have to pay with my pensioner pass. And every time I go to Chester Station, there's something of interest there. It's just a coincidence, perhaps, but last time I called in there were Pullman coaches parked in the sidings, and they have such glamorous names like Doris and Elsie and things like that. So have a look at those. Now, I would like to end with some trains. Some of you who watch regularly might have noticed I've had a bit of a tinker with garden railway, the G gauge, for setting up trains in your garden, and never really got very far. Now I live in a flat, I haven't got a garden, but that aside, I found some people who have, and it wasn't in a garden. We did recently go to the St Helens Transport Museum and noticed it's called transport in this country. In America they call this transit, which is a reminder that I found an app. It's very windy down here. I found an app called Transit, which was probably American sourced, but it's actually got all the local buses on it. And when I left home this morning, I walked to my local bus stop and I put it on, and it told me which buses were due. And I have a way of travelling where I just see what bus is coming next and get on it and go there. And it took me to West Kirby. And same thing I did at West Kirby. I got on a bus that was going to Eastern Ferry, and that's how I've ended up at Eastern Ferry. I've gone off at a tangent, I always do that, but I recommend the Transit app if you travel by buses a lot. Stand at the bus stop, see what it says. Anyway, those trains, those G-gauge trains, they were in the Transport Museum in a room at the back, and I've never seen so many trains running at once. While still on the subject of trains, the old dock railway line in Birkenhead, which has been closed for some time, the council are going to make it into a park, or a parkway I was calling it, basically a leisure area that runs more or less the full length of the original line. It used to run from Bidston Station right round to Rock Ferry, and I've been out exploring to see where I could find traces of this. First place I went to was in Birkenhead, behind the Rock Retail Park, and I was in this quiet lane. I was standing here like this with the drone up in the air and nobody else about, and I'm just staring at my phone and looking up in the air. And suddenly there was a police car alongside me, wound the window down and said, "Am I all right?" So I considered, what must I look like? I'm standing here gazing into space with a phone in my hand. I'm old. Yes, I could have been demented and lost. so nice of them to stop. But what they also did was tell me where else I could go to see bits of the railway, and they were right, of course, because they are on the streets all the time. And so I got a couple of other shots of where you can see the old line, and of course eventually in the next few years it will be opened up and we'll all be able to walk along it.
Welcome to the Maythorn Show that started on the radio. Brian Smart has come so far since video killed the radio star.